Objective of Open VPN is like point to site connectivity. Yesterday we had discussed how to establish this connectivity with the help of client VPN endpoint. And today we will verify the same thing with the Open VPN. So it's a different way to set up the point to site connectivity here. So let's draw one diagram, and according to the diagram, we are going to implement this whole setup. Okay. So suppose this is your VPC. Inside that VPC, you are going to create two subnet. This is your subnet 1 and this is your subnet 2. VPC 1, I will call this and 10.0.0/16. So in this, I will have two subnet. One will be a private subnet and other is your public subnet. So the reason I'm calling it public subnet because I will create one IG gateway here, internet gateway. So one router, IG gateway, internet gateway will be attached to your VPC. Routing table will also be attached to the VPC. Then I'm going to connect here to the public subnet. And finally, it will be connected here on internet. Okay. And whatever EC2 instance you create inside this public subnet, that will have the internet connectivity. So I'm not going to connect this subnet to the internet. Okay. So it means whatever you are going to create, that will remain as private here. So I will create one EC2 instance inside this private subnet. And let's say I'm calling it as a VM1. And when I will create this, I will only have the private IP address on it. Okay. Similarly, I have to deploy a virtual appliance here, and that virtual appliance is known as OpenVPN. Okay. One thing we have to make sure that when we deploy our OpenVPN appliance, it should be placed in the subnet where you have the internet connectivity. So that is the reason on this subnet, I'm giving the internet connection because I want to place OpenVPN inside this. So in between, suppose this is your internet and your AWS is connected to internet. Similarly, this is my laptop. On my laptop, I am also connected to the internet. So the first thing, once this all of this setup is done from my laptop, there will be an application which need to be installed. So we can say that Open VPN client application. Okay, this client application I need to install. And from this application, first of all, I will establish one VPN connection with this Open VPN. Okay, once this one is connected, it means through this Open VPN, I have connected through this VPC as a whole. So after that, you can connect any of the EC2 instance via the private IP address. So once this connection is done, again, I can connect this EC2 instance with the help of the private IP address. So after that, I do not require the public IP address because the VPN connection has been established. So this is how this concept to work here. So let me do the setup and understand the technical part of this one. And then we will see how overall connectivity works in this case of OpenVPN. So this is the much simpler concept, much simpler deployment compared to the client VPN endpoint. Okay. So first of all, let's do it one by one. I need this VPC first. Inside this VPC, I will create both of the subnet and this IG gateway and the routing tables and all. Let me create this one, then we will get into the deployment of OpenVPN. So to do that, I'm in Singapore region and I need one VPC. I'm going to create a separate VPC this time. So create VPC. So VPC 1 is the name, IP address is 10.0.0.0. slash 16 is the range of IP, and create this. So VPC is created. Inside this VPC, I will create two subnet and create subnet. So VPC 1, the subnet name is the first one is your public subnet. On this public subnet, I have selected 1A as availability zone, and the range of IP address is 10.0.1.0/24, and create this. Go to create subnet once again, VPC1. Subnet name is private subnet. Let me select 1B and 10.0.2.0/24 and create it. So if you update this diagram, public subnet has the IP range as 10.0.1.0/24 and the private has 2.0. So let me modify this. So this is 2 here. Fine. So this part is done. Now I need to create IG gateway routing table to establish the connectivity. So first of all, I go to internet gateway and create one internet gateway here. IG gateway 1 is the name. Create internet gateway and attach it to the VPC 1. Similarly, you go to the routing tables and create one routing table. So VPC routing table is the name. Attach it to the VPC 1 and create it. So select the VPC1 routing table and then you go to the subnet associations. In subnet association, click on edit subnet association, and I want to attach my public subnet because I want to give internet access only to my public subnet here. So click on save and then you go to the routing part, click on edit, add. So if you like to go outside on internet, you should go via the internet gateway, that is IG gateway 1, and click on save route close. Okay, so it means I have created all of this setup. Now I will deploy this VM1 EC2 instance and I'm taking a Windows operating system in this. You can take anything, it is not specific, it should be Windows or Linux, you can do anything here. So I'm taking Windows. So go to services and click on EC2 here. So then you go to instance. T2.micro configure. So I'm placing it in VPC1 and private subnet, and I do not require the public IP address on it. So only private IP address is going to be configured. So click on add storage and tag. So name I am going to mention as, let's say, VM1. Okay, so then configure security group. So as of now, let me so this is the name I have renamed, and inside that I want to allow everything, all traffic and all traffic anywhere. So inside the security group I have allowed all of the traffic from all of the sources. Review and create and launch this one. Key has been taken as AWS pair and launch it. So I have deployed this part as well. So this VM1 is also deployed inside my private subnet, and it has only the private subnet. So you can see only private IP address is assigned, no public IP address. Okay. So it means if I try to connect this EC2 instance, I cannot do the connection here because there is no public IP address. And right now I haven't set up any VPN also. So if I wish also from my laptop, I cannot establish a connection via the private IP address, right? Now come into this public subnet and focus on this Open VPN. So what is the concept of Open VPN here? So Open VPN is like a pre-configured EC2 instance. So there is a EC2 instance, okay? Generally, we call it as a virtual appliances. What are virtual appliances? These are pre-configured setups. So what I will do, I will create one EC2 instance, and in that EC2 instance, all of the configuration is already done by the AWS. Everything is pre-configured in that. Only thing I need to create it inside this public subnet. Okay. So, and it is a Linux based operating system. The EC2 instance where OpenVPN has been deployed, that is a Linux based platform, and that's what we are going to deploy now. So how to do this deployments? Let's focus on that part. So let me go and deploy this OpenVPN here inside public subnet. So to do that, the process will remain same. Go to your instance, okay, then you go to launch instances, but this you have to purchase from the AWS marketplace. So go to the marketplace and search here for OpenVPN. So it's here, hit enter. So you can see OpenVPN appliance or server is already available, and these are the description. Okay, transform your business with a secure and powerful virtual private network software from the OpenVPN Inc. So it means there will be a EC2 instance. In that EC2 instance, OpenVPN has done the setup. Correct. So OpenVPN is like a company. Those are into this VPN and all. So they have created this virtual appliance here. So free tier is also available in this case. You can just go and select this. Okay, so these are some of the charges mentioned here. Click on continue. So because I told you, end of the day, these are the EC2 instance only. So if you want to choose some other sizes, those sizes also you can select. Suppose you are looking for the higher processing power, RAM and all. So just change the instance type and the configuration will be changed for this one. So I'm going to select a T2.micro because I want to create it into the free tier eligibility. So select T2.micro and go to the configure instance detail. And from this section, you can uh, define its networking part of this appliance. So I want to put it into the VPC1. Okay. Inside that, I have created a public subnet for this one. So put it here. And also I need a public IP address on this. Go to add storage, add tag. So let's say that name is OpenVPN. Go to the security group. So whatever ports are required, those are pre-configured. You can see everything has been added here. Only change you can do, you can specify the source here. Okay, so let me select anywhere for now. Do not touch all these things because if you disable or enable something, so it may not work also. So only do the changes in the source according to your requirement. Okay, so go ahead, review and launch this one. So this is the key, launch. Okay, so instance state is showing as running. So what I need to do now, as I told you that this virtual appliance is a Linux based. Okay, so if I want to establish a connectivity with this one, so I will establish connectivity via the SSH connection because this is a Linux box. So copy this public IP address and go to the command prompt. So first of all, I need to get into my download folders because my key is there, and the key name is AWS pair. Okay, so type SSH, and the user ID will be Open VPN as. So initial username will be this one, Open VPN as. Okay, it will not be EC2 hyphen users. So this thing you always have to keep in your mind. So click on @ and paste the public IP address on it. And finally I and the key name, and click on and yes. Okay, so it is asking for some basic configuration initially when you connect with this one. So what you need to do, just mention yes everywhere, that's all. And skip this, hit enter, 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 enter. So it will take all of the default information. So it is initializing your box, Open VPN here. Okay, so finally I am logged in. So I'm logged in as OpenVPN as @ the IP address. Okay, so the next is you can see there is one client UI, user interface. So one URL has been mentioned here, correct? So copy this URL from here and come here on portal and paste it. So this is the console, and first I need to log into this console. So now the user ID, once this setup is done, the user ID will change to OpenVPN, but we do not have the password with us. So what I can do, I can go here. Let me clear this. Okay. First you move to your root account. So type sudo su, hit enter. I have switched to the root account. Okay, this is my root account. Here I can type a command to reset the password of my account, that is OpenVPN. So command is pass wd space OpenVPN. So I'm resetting the password of this account. Hit enter. It is asking me to set a new password. So new password, you can set anything. Okay, so password updated successfully. So I have a password now. So come here and go to your portal. So in this portal, you just mention the new password and login. So once you log in here, you can see multiple symbols are reflecting. So if you go back to this diagram, in this diagram, you will see that I have deployed this OpenVPN here. This box I have already placed in it. And from my laptop via interface, I'm able to connect this OpenVPN. Okay. And that is a client interface. But in this laptop also, I need some application, a VPN application. Through that VPN application only, I will establish the connection here with this box. Okay. So how to download that application now? So here there are a lot of symbols has been given. So this symbol is for the Windows operating system. This is for your Mac operating system. This is for your Linux operating system. This is Android and this is iOS. Okay. So my laptop is a Windows operating system, Windows machine. So I will go here and click on this. And as soon as I click on it, you can see one application or client application is getting downloaded on my laptop. Okay, if you are using Mac operating system, you click on this Apple symbol, and for the Mac, installer will be downloaded on your laptop. Done. So installation is completed here. Click on show in folder, right click on it, and click on install. Next, so finish this one. So this installation is done, and you can see one symbol has been created for the OpenVPN Connect. So open this now. Close this. Okay. So everything is ready as of now. So I have this client application also on my laptop. Now I will establish one connection. So basically I will establish a VPN connectivity between my laptop and this OpenVPN. And this OpenVPN is a part of the VPC. Okay, as soon as I'm connected here, it means I have connected to this VPC1. And after that, once this connection is established, I can connect any of the EC2 instance via the private IP address. So let's establish the connection first, this first connection. After that, we will see that whether we are able to connect to VM1 or not. So switch it on and provide the username and password. The user I had created, that is OpenVPN. Password is this one. Go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so it says that connected, and this is the connection is speed, network speed basically, download and upload speed. Fine. So minimize this one. So it means the connection has been established. Okay, now from my laptop, I will try to access my VM1 based on private IP address. If this is working, it means my point to site connectivity is working perfectly fine. So to verify that, I need my VM1 private IP address. So copy this, and this is a Windows machine. So let me reset the password first of all. Go to the RDP here, get password. Okay, so let me show here separately RDP, and paste private IP address, connect. Okay, so it is asking for username and password. It means connection is done by with the private IP address, and let me paste this. Okay. Okay, so very simple. In few steps only, you are able to establish the point to site connectivity. So you are able to connect and able to log in with the help of the private IP. So this is how this overall concept work here.